Well, welcome aboard, everyone. Thank you for joining us, whether you're a first-time campaign coordinator or you're well-seasoned. We had one of our oldest campaign coordinators, not that she's that old, but she's done it for over 20 years. Susan Matsuda, she's in D14, and she's been around the block, but she still comes to the meetings, and she says she takes away something new each time. So hopefully you'll get a few nuggets that will help you in your local campaign. And certainly if you have any questions, we'll have some spots for you to ask them. So I'm going to share my screen now, and then we'll get started. Okay, so Coast Guard Mutual Assistance. You should know who we are, but just a quick refresh to make sure we're on the same page. This is the Aid Society for the Coast Guard. We're Coast Guard Mutual Assistance. We help our own. So we receive donations from the military members, from Coasties, retirees, reservists, and then we give that money back and support the financial resilience of the Coast Guard. And we do that through three main ways. We do it through disaster and emergency relief. And so that's going to be your hurricanes, wildfires, everything from the water crisis that happened a year or so ago in Hawaii to just those localized disasters, flooding in an apartment or home. And we help, that's the bulk of what we do. We also have education assistance. So really proud that we doubled the amount of the SEG, that's a supplemental education grant this year. So it went from 500 to 1,000, also includes computers, and that went to helping so many people that we've already put out I think 1.3 is where we're at now, million so far at the beginning of the year. And to date, before that, for a whole year, we'd be under 1 million. So we're already blazing through, and we're not even halfway through the year. So good funds going out there to help people pursue their education goals. And then the third category is kind of a little bit of a catch-all, but so many interesting programs fit in there. So to make sure you know about a few of those, hopefully you've went through the prep call where we talked about a lot of them in depth, but just want to touch on a few of them again. So that's going to be your adoption assistance, special needs grants. It's going to be monies for first and last month rent. So a lot of our PCS programs, we have a PCS incidentals loan. This is going to affect a lot of people coming up, the PCS costs, and then some of our pet assistance, just any of those things that can become a financial drain, and want to help families just with the day-to-day expenses, just what it says, that day-to-day support. All right, so the reason for our call, we're talking about maintaining campaign momentum. So the campaign is 1 month long, which is not as long as CFC. So we really have a smaller shot to get the monies to come in. So the campaign month is April. We're well into it. We're a little over halfway at this point. But do know, if you haven't started, it's not too late to start. So some people just found their package, just got a campaign coordinator assigned. That's okay. It's not too late to start. You can really, in a week, touch a unit and get good information out there, collect allotment forms, pledge forms, and you could handle that even in a week. So let's talk about that, the different ways to give. You got pledge forms, hard copy pledge forms, and these are really useful. And now the bulk of people are going to do their donating online, but that pledge form is a really handy reminder and physical thing that's going to help folks remember that they want to donate, instead of just it being an idea that's announced and then they go back to their desk and forget about it. So a couple of things about allotments that we want to make sure you know, that the smallest allotment does have a minimum. So it's at least $1 to be able to start an allotment, but most allotments are an average of $5. So you can have an allotment of all sorts of different amounts. And one of the things is folks might say, I already give, and thank them, tell them that's great. But remind them that they could make a small increase, and cumulatively, if a lot of people make just even $1 or $2 increase to their allotment, that can make a big difference. And just $1 increase is only going to be $12 a year. So I think most people could handle an increase of donation of $12 a year. And if they can't, put them in touch with their local CGMA rep and we can get them some financial help. But there are specific links to each of the allotment, either for the civilian payroll or the active duty allotments. And that is easily accessible on our campaign webpage, which we'll talk a little bit more about in just a moment. But I did want to talk about fundraising events. We are so excited that all sorts of events are happening around the Coast Guard. We've got Base Portsmouth they do several units. They've got a lot of co-located units, and so they do this big color rush, color run. So it could be as elaborate as that, which they've been planning for months, and this is not the first time, to a Chick-fil-A breakfast or something that is a real win to bring and share and sell. And that could be a fundraising event for your local area. We've had everything from chili cook-offs to polar bear plunges to the Cape May, Tracy and Cape May did a car show where they judged for the best jalopy, and they had a 50% increase of donations this year, which is just really exciting. So whatever fits for you, doing a little morale fundraising event, even if it doesn't bring in tons of dollars, can really send the message home that there is a cohesive corporate investment from the unit to give to CGMA. So those are just some ideas. If you want to bat around ideas, give me a buzz. I'd happy to take a call and talk to you about what your idea is and if it's possible to do. I think one unit is doing they're raffling in conjunction with their local exchange. They're raffling off a PS5. Am I saying that right? PlayStation 5? Yeah, PlayStation 5. So really, the personality of your unit and do something that works for you. Okay, so if you haven't held your kickoff event yet, there is still money, and we haven't had a ton of units actually use this yet. The some that have really deployed it well, but know that there's still some funds available. So just wanted to review how this works. Basically, there is a form, and there's also some instructions in the coordinator instructions that talk about pre-approved amounts. So basically, we have a matrix, and you find out what is the population of your unit. You base it on that size, and you get a pre-approved dollar amount that you can spend on kickoff funds for your unit, and that could be everything from decorations to food to whatever might work for your unit. And then you just submit the receipts to our offices along with the Form 32, and we do reimbursement. Now, if you have an idea and the costs are kind of outside of that parameter, just go ahead and let me know and we can work on getting you approval. But this is just the approval that's already in place. You don't have to ask permission. You can just spend the dollars and quickly get reimbursed. And we do reimbursement the same way that we do assistance, and that's going to be through Zelle. If you need a check, we can do a check, but it really is within a day or so we can get you payment back. So it should be pretty easy stuff. So I just want to make sure you know where the best resources live, and that's going to be on our website, which is cgmahq.org. Now at the top of the screen, it says locations, and that is going to be how you're going to find your local rep. If you don't know who your local CGMA rep is, we recommend you make contact with them and use them. They know the cases that have been provided. They can give you some insight there for local impact, and they would be a great place to be able to direct people, because whenever you ask for money for a service, people have questions about that service. So if you have folks that need assistance, please, by all means, direct them to their local rep. You don't have to have all the answers, but just know where to direct them. And then this is kind of your hub. This is the coordinator's headquarters. So cgmahq.org/campaign is their campaign website, and everything lives here. So you've got the electronic copies of everything we sent in hard copies. So the brochures, pledge forms, posters, as well as your guides, your instructions, the frequently asked questions. Sometimes things pop up. Feel free to use those resources if you have any questions about them. Again, I don't want to be a broken record here, but please get in touch. We are here for you to help make your campaign easier and a success at the local level. And then also there are great information for you to share with your unit. The PowerPoint video links, as I mentioned before, Gosnell's done a great job. We just put a new one up this week based on our, or just last week, of our year in review video. It's about a 4 or 5 minute video, and it shares all the successes, the new programs of the last year. That's a really great resource. And then we have some sample client stories, really the impact of what donor dollars have done to make people's lives better. And then also some sample kickoff remarks that you can give your leadership to help them champion CGMA at an all hands meeting or something like that. So I'm going to pause there. Does anyone have any questions about campaign resources or anything that I've covered so far? Feel free to put a question in the chat. Gosnell will monitor that and let me know if there's anything there. Or you can take yourself off mute and pipe up.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Smurman. I'm the warrant officer at D9. I still have not received any of my like the packages, you know, the stuff that you're sending out. I never got my magazine stuff. So I'm using stuff from last year, and I'm working with Base Cleveland. So hopefully that's good.
Okay, yeah, we can get you, if you send me an email of the best address and how much you want, we will put something in the mail today.
Okay, perfect.
So
thank you
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. There were a couple boxes returned. We're trying to work with those units. I don't remember yours being one of the return ones, but it could be sitting in a mailroom somewhere buried. So I'm sorry about that. But thank you for bringing it to our attention. Yeah, absolutely happy to. And that goes for people who've run out of materials. If somehow we got the quantities not great, and you need something else, just let us know. We do have some surplus that we can send along. So yeah, pop me an email at campaign@cgmahq.org at your preferred mailing address. And that could be your home if you're like, we're not going to get it through our mailroom, whatever you want. Just tell me kind of how much you want and where you want us to send it to. We'll get that in the mail for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure. Any other questions? Gosnell, is there anything in the chat?
No, I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, great. We'll move on. But feel free to ask. We'll have some questions at the end as well. Thanks for piping up, because if you've got a question, someone else has it too. And this is just a view of the campaign page. You can use the link for the campaign page to share out to your unit as well, because it does have the links to all the means of giving by allotment, information about check and giving by credit card, excuse me. But mostly it has your information. And I'm actually underneath the campaign coordinator resources, and the screen print I took didn't show it, but basically I'm going to take off my PowerPoint and go. Oh, I did have it up. Here we go. Hopefully for those that are on the Teams version, you can see it. We have a dashboard for you. I wanted to introduce the dashboard. So basically, this is going to give you real-time updates for what giving is happening. And literally, we got a whole bunch of things in the mail. That's going to be more our retiree giving. But as we get information coming in and people submit online virtually their new allotment or their increases, we're capturing that information and being able to show it to you real time. So under the campaign resources, there's something called Campaign Report 2023 that brings you to this page. And this is just the guide to show you what it looks like, but you can get all sorts of information. So if you have any questions on that, but hopefully that will give you a better picture and a little bit faster than we've been able to provide in the past of kind of the results of the campaign. And obviously the extra dollars donated for like fundraising events we don't have yet, but once you're submitting those, we're going to be able to add that in. And so that just gives you good reporting, both for your own personal fitness reports, for your sharing with leadership. Just wanted to give you that good information. go back to our slideshow here. All right, so let's transition to talk about some tips for success. This is some of the things we've said before at our prep call, but just want to be reminding you that personal stories make a difference. So if there's someone in your unit that is willing to share at an all hands or at a staff huddle, that knowing that their shipmate locally is receiving assistance and is getting the help they need can make a difference. Now, obviously, want to respect confidentiality, but your rep could let you know of a kind of case that happened, and you could speak about the impact in a more general way if the confidentiality, if it doesn't want to be, if the individual doesn't want to share. But really, those personal stories make a difference. If you yourself have received assistance, consider sharing that. Say you've used the SEG and how it's helped you reach your education goals. It matters. People care about the people they work with, and it matters that the dollars go to the people they care about. And so making the connection that a donation helps their fellow shipmate can really have a good impact. Do know that CGMA leadership is available for speaking if you have a local event, kickoff event, or if in the future you want CGMA to come and present to your unit. We're always looking for those key places to be able to come and share good news with the local at the local level. We already talked about introducing yourself to your local rep. And then just a reminder that a lot of people already give, and that's fabulous, and that's the way it should be. So I think just a little over 20% of active duty members currently give. That's awesome. And so as you ask and make the ask, if people are saying, oh, I already give, thank them, but remind them that needs increase and hopefully their paycheck has increased over time, and just ask them, when was the last time that you increased it, and give them the opportunity to progress in their giving. And then if you do have any questions about making the ask, and we're not pressuring anyone, there's no quotas, it's strictly voluntary, but a lot of times people do respond to that invitation to give. So encourage you to be courageous in that, and creative. And I love that so many units do so many different things. And if your unit is doing something fun, take a picture and send it to us so we can celebrate with you. I'm going to pause there again and ask if there's any further questions. And we'll wrap up here shortly, and I'll stay on the line a little bit longer if there's any further questions. But if you've got one, you can go ahead and put it in the chat or unmute yourself and ask. Hearing none, I'm just going to say have a great rest of the campaign. Look out for an email from me today with your week 3 social media kit. And if there's anything further that you need, just email us at campaign@cgmahq.org, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thanks so much and have a great campaign.